Coach coming on and saving the day.
And get set up real quick.
All right. All right. We got it. I'm going to step away and you got it.
All righty. So, guys, I want to do a little conversation here about one of our base plays here at Barton College. Wide zone for us is our bread and butter. Okay, this is our go-to run, regardless of who we're playing, regardless of the scheme that we're getting. This is what we want to do. Like I said, I'm Coach Cain. I'm the run game coordinator, offensive line coach, and video coordinator at Barton College. For those of you that may not know much about us, we're a newer Division II program located in Wilson, North Carolina, so right between Raleigh and Raleigh and Greenville. This is going into season 3 of competition. We were set to play our first season in 2020. But due to COVID, we weren't able to. So we played 2021 this past fall, and then we're prepping for this upcoming season. So you see my contact information, on the screen. Feel free to reach out to me on Twitter, email, whatever. So a background on us, or background on me, like you see on the screen. I got my start coaching high school football. Was at the Cannon School in Concord, North Carolina for 2 seasons. Moved to Pennsylvania right during the beginning stages of COVID. And then got my first college opportunity that following January. Moved around a little bit and just finished my first full calendar year here at Barton College. Us by the numbers. So this past season, we ran 723 plays as an offense. We're a slower tempo team. We're going to huddle. We're going to break the huddle. We're going to play a lot of 12 personnel, ground and pound football. 155 of our 723 plays were some variation of wide zone this past year. And by being able to run wide zone so much, it's really allowed us to set up our play action. Some just quick statistics, just on wide zone alone. We averaged 6 yards per play. We finished 16th in the nation in total rushing, led the conference in rushing, and had the number four running back in the nation. So, still building off that with a young group. Lucky enough to have all 5 starters coming back this year, our quarterback coming back, running back coming back. All those guys are doing a great job. So wide zone for us, like I said earlier, it's a go-to play. We feel that we can find a way to run it regardless of who we're playing, regardless of the scheme that we'll see. We're in the South Atlantic Conference, and, in my opinion, it's one of the top 3 toughest Division II conferences in the nation. We're playing Lenoir-Rhyne, Newberry, Wingate, Tusculum, Mars Hill. The list goes on. Primarily we run this play from under center or from the pistol. We've worked some throughout this spring ball, being able to run it from the sidecar. It's a little bit different for our tailback, but a lot of our success came from under center or from the pistol. We teach this play as a stretch to puncture. Okay, we are pressing, and I'll get on the aim point a little bit, but we're pressing to the call side butt of the ghost tight end, and we're working to get the linebackers to flow. Once they flow, our tailback puts his foot in the ground, and finds the crease. We do not reach guys. Okay, we find guys on their angle and we keep them on their angle. Okay, we're working for horizontal displacement. We're trying to take guys and create a new line of scrimmage. And sometimes wide zone gets misconstrued and mislabeled as a finesse play. So for us, it is just as physical as inside zone, as counter, as power. We're running off the ball, but we're doing it while creating a new line of scrimmage. For us, our aim point, okay, we're getting our backside hand into the sternum and our backside knee through the crotch. That's the first part of it for us. Day one install, when we talk about wide zone, we get done drawing it on the board. We start talking about, well, how are we going to accomplish this goal? And you'll hear me say this all the time. My guys hear it all the time. Did you get your backside hand to the sternum? Did you get your backside knee through the crotch? Okay. I use a aim point of get your eyes to the play side shoulder pad. A lot of my terminology I use with my guys is play side, backside, play side, backside. Okay. So when I say play side, if we're running the ball to the left, okay, it would be the defender's right shoulder pad. Okay. So we're not turning our butt to the hole or to the outside. We work guys on angles and we press back into them. Sometimes a guy's going to play into our chest, or he's going to dive inside, and we have to, seal it, and the ball's going to get to the edge. But when that happens, we're pressing back into the defender. So it's not just run to the outside, turn your butt. It's get that backside hand to the sternum and press him back in. When we get to the second level, we're working with the same idea. We're trying to get our eyes across the linebacker. Sometimes someone said it earlier, linebackers are much better athletes than us up front. So if they beat us to the point, we run them past the point. If they beat us to where the tailback should go, we're running them by that, and the tailback will make us right. Like I said earlier, our running back's aim point on wide zone is the inside leg of the ghost tight end. This is not a cutback play. Our running back is being taught to press that thing as far as he can press it and then puncture the defense where he sees the hole. Some of the techniques I'll talk about, we're either covered or uncovered. I know most of you guys, probably all you guys, teach like this. Our covered O-lineman, you're either the lead lift in a zone combo or you're running a catch hand reach. So lead lift, that's what I call my post guy or my lead guy in a zone combination. We don't use the term doubles because one of our combo calls is a double. So everything's a combo. Gap scheme, run zone scheme, everything's a combo. So catch hand reach is just what I was talking about a little bit ago. That's getting that backside hand to the sternum, knee to the crotch. It's a solo block on wide zone. Primarily, we get this if we run to the open side, away from the tight end, which we do a lot, and we're running it at a 5 technique, and the tackle's got one-on-one with that guy. He's reaching, he's getting his inside hand into the sternum, backside knee to the crotch. One of the little techniques I'll teach my guys, if we can't get there, the guy's fighting, he's taught well, he's not letting us reach him, we toss him out of the club. We displace him and we throw him, outside, keep him outside. All right. If you're uncovered, okay, you're either the overtake man in a zone combo, you're the second guy, or you're working what we call a 3-step indicator. And I stole that terminology from Oregon, and all that's saying is if you're the uncovered guy and we're working a zone combination between the right guard and the right tackle, ball being ran to the right, and the guard's uncovered, he's got 3 steps to understand if he's going to knock it over, if he's going to take over the block, or if he's going to climb vertical. Okay, and we'll talk about that a little bit more in the next slide. Okay, so like I was talking about our catch hand reach. Okay, this is our solo call on wide zone. We're teaching them backside hand to the sternum, backside knee to the crotch. Some of this is repetitive. If they dive inside, that's the only time that we really turn back on a D lineman. But we do have adjustments if we notice that that's a common thing for teams to do to us. So 3-step indicator. This is our process for uncovered O linemen. And these vary It's 3 steps on wide zone because of how we're trying to press the ball. Inside zone, it's a 1 to 2 step indicator. So, they have a decision to make. Are they going to knock it over, take it over, climb? Most offensive linemen are big boys. So I teach it using food. If you see a little meat hanging on the bone, go ahead and knock it over. You see a lot of meat hanging on the bone, go ahead and take it over. You see no meat hanging, climb vertical. Some of our terminology, I know a little bit of this is just boring, but our front side zone combos are, we have a single, which is our play side guard and center, a double, which is our play side guard and play side tackle, a triple is a play side tackle and tight end combo, backside scoop, slip, sled, it's backside guard and center, backside guard and backside tackle, and then backside tackle and backside tight end. With our zone combinations, guys, we set our combinations based on the linebacker alignment. So if we get a shade, we're running the ball to the right, and we have a front side 30 backer, we're telling our center he's reaching that shade by himself. The guard's working vertical to the 30 backer. That same play, we get a stacked backer. Now we're running a single. If that guy goes backside, this is where some of this stuff starts going in with a thin and thick call. For us, a thin call is anytime that linebacker is shaded head up to front side of the play. That's basically telling the overtake guy that the lead lift guy is going to give him a little bit of help, but he's got to get on his horse and go. That thick call is going to be when that linebacker is backside of the play. So that means we're going to really mash that down lineman. We're going to create movement and create a wall, for the tailback to puncture the defense. And then just some of our terminology that we use when we're talking about defensive line play. Are they chasing the play? It's pretty obvious. Is the D lineman playing to the call side gap? Do you have a 3 technique that off the snap, he's running to the ball? If the ball's ran to the right, he's not really playing his gap. He's just trying to run and chase the ball. Is he staking the gap? This is more so, guys who play maybe a 2 instead of a 3, or a tight shade instead of a true shade or a 2-eye. Are they playing hard through that gap? Are they, trying to eat up a double team and free up a linebacker? Then are they backdooring it? Do you have a 3 technique to the call side, running the ball to the right, and he likes to dive back inside? He slow plays it, lets you overreach him, and then he dives inside. Okay, so that's how we communicate when we come off the field. Just trying to make it universal for my guys. So we're not saying a bunch of different things. We're all saying, hey, he's chasing it, he's staking it, he's backdooring it. Hey, we went thick here, we went thin here, so on and so forth. Some of our variations that we'll use, I know it's a lot. Some of them are for, 3-3 stacks. Some of them are for a tight front. Some of them are for, 4 down. So just kind of show you guys some of the variations we'll use. Cut is just split zone for us. Boss is telling us that our fullback or our H, our sniffer, whatever terminology you want to use, he has the +1 on the play. If we got a 4-3 box and they roll a safety down, he would have that safety in the alley. Bob is something we started this spring. Our defense shifted from a 4 down to a 3-3 stack or a tight front. They've bounced between the two. But this is our way when we get that true 3-3 stack with no overhang presence to get the fullback to block the play side backer, and we bump our zone combos back a guy. It's a way for us to be able to get 6-on-6 and make those corners and safeties have to make the play, on our tailback. Lock is a very common tag for us. That's just telling us when we have the tight end backside that if he has a defensive end, he's based the defensive end. If he doesn't have a defensive end, he has an open gap. He's solidifying the gap, and then he's climbing vertical. Watch, this is more of a spread tag for us when we're trying to play more 11 personnel, and this just tells us that the backside guard and tackle are locked. And you see in parentheses sometimes, if we call watch and the backside guy is a tight shade, it's going to end up turning into a zone combo between that guard and center. Search, so more of a heavier tag for us. We line up in two tights and a fullback when we're trying to mash people sometimes, and search tells us that the fullback's inserting for the first linebacker play side. We handle linebackers 2 and 3, if it's a 3-backer box. And then some stuff, Gary is just a guard down on a 2-eye or a shade and the center pulls around. And a wipe call is just if we have a backside 3 and maybe the backers cheated front side, we'll have that guard work back on the 3 and the tackle will fold underneath them. How we handle our movements and blitzes, we use a color scheme. If we're game plan for somebody and they give us a lot of movements, a lot of blitzes, we'll put in yellow, orange, or red color calls. A yellow call is just telling us, that the tackle guard center, when we have a 2-eye, we've been tipped off that, hey, they like to give us movement to the 2-eye. So we'll tell them yellow, orange is versus a 3-tech, and red is just that anytime we can call it with the center, front side guard, backside guards. More so if we have a tight shade and they like to cross face, away from the play. But all these color calls are, guys, is we're telling those guys affected, as you see, the tackle, guard, center, whatever, that they're square dragging through their gap. So they're essentially shuffling. They're getting their eyes up. They're leaving that backside hand, dragging it for their buddy, but then they're getting vertical. So it's just a way for us to be able to take on any sort of movement, any sort of pinch, or any sort of single edge pressure. It's just a drawing of our wide zone, how we block it. I'm not going to read through all this, obviously, so that way I can get to some film stuff. But it's just kind of our base stuff that I talked about. This is our boss call. The B, which is our fullback, is working to the rover here. We got to catch hand reach with the left tackle. We're running single to the wheel. We're slipping to the mic, and the backside tight end just cutting off the end. We have different variations when we install, especially wide zone. We give our guys all these different drawings against different fronts, so they have different ways to understand how we do what we do. So I'm not going to dive into these too much. Our difference is, as you see here, this is us running the ball away from a tight end. So that's where we're going to get our boss call. And then here, this is us running the ball to an attached tight end with also being able to run a boss call. It just gives us one more guy at the point of attack. So I'm going to move over to some film.
Hey, Coach, before you get to the film, can you answer this question by Coach Rapinick?
Coach, how do you teach the first couple steps off the ball? We struggle getting guys on their path after the snap. Yeah, it's a good question. So one thing I learned doing this. So personally, I've never been a wide zone guy. Everywhere else I've been has been very heavy inside zone and power. So this is the first time I've really had to dive into wide zone. I just tell the guys to take I don't give them a degree or it has to be this length. I tell them that their foot, okay, if you're in a right-handed stance, that foot needs to be able to get your hips where it needs to go. So we use the boards. We put the toe on the top right or top left of the board, depending on which way we're going. Okay. And they're thinking they got to cross that board. So they're losing a little bit of ground with that first foot. Okay. And that second foot's shuffling behind it. I don't like crossing over. I don't like, doing those kind of things, because if a guy moves or stunts or anything like that, we end up getting caught turning our shoulders more than I would like. Let's see, Coach Hensley, what what do you like to do in 11P versus 5-2 fronts of wide zone, or is it just a rush at the tight end, or what tags do you use? Yeah, it's a good question. So if it's just base 11P for us and we get a 5-2 box, the cop-out answer is, we'll just RPO it. But what we'll end up doing based on the alignment of the defender to the call side, we can lock it with that backside fullback, or if we have tight end on the ball, backside tight end can lock it. But we're just gapping everything. All right, we make a tracks call. It's what we found to be the best thing to work for us against the 5-2 front. It's just everybody's opening, running through their call side gap. Because at a certain point they're going to get out leveraged. And if they give us a 5 to the front side, the tackle's going to run it by, and we're going to end up getting a linebacker that's going to get called up in the trash. It's not ideal to run wide zone versus a 5-2 front out of 11P, but we've done a little bit of it. So that's a great question, which I hope I answered it well enough. But, we would just make a tracks call, and that backside tight end would have to be responsible for the backside gap.
You're good, Coach.
All right, cool. So right here we're running. I know it looks like a lot at the top of the screen. We use a lot of terminology, but this was a bittersweet one for me going against my old alma mater here. But we go, and they had been giving us a lot of 3 down front all week in prep. And then we came out. This is later in the game, and we just go base wide zone with a boss tag. So I'll start it up just a little bit so you guys can kind of see the aiming points of guys. So we're teaching our slot right here that he's tracking to the safety. Receiver's obviously blocking the man over him. We've ID'd this guy's the +1. Okay. I know might be a little delayed, but the fullback is tracking for right here. Okay. We're not worried about this guy. We're not worried about this guy. Okay. So that's how we're blocking it with the front side 3 that are not, offensive linemen. Get you guys to the tight. So we get a tight front. Okay. The backside defensive end standing. That's fine. That's what we want. Okay. So my guys right here, my right guard, right tackle, they're making a double call to 23. Okay. This is going to be more of a vertical double team based on where 23 is aligned. So my right tackle's footwork is going to be slightly different. He's going to pick it up, put it down with his right foot, and he's going to run through with his left foot. Okay, he's really just trying to get this shoulder turned for the guard to overtake this. Now my guard's got to get on his horse. He's going to drop a little bit of ground with his backside or with his right foot to get his eyes across. Now, going back to what we said, if this 4-eye fights like heck to go through this tackle's shoulder, now at that point, my guard's just going to run this guy off the screen. We have a scoop here to the backside 10 backer. My tackle, this is an awful cut, probably one of the worst ones we had all season. Definitely let him know about it in film. Then backside tight end, he's just cutting off the backside gap. So let this thing run. So the defensive end says, I'm not getting reached. That's fine. I tackle and guard, take him to the second level. They do a great job running on their angles, being physical, okay, and they're taking that guy to the second level. Backside here, okay, our center, we've been very lucky. He is very athletic. He reaches shades and 2 eyes for us, but he does a great job here of being able to pass that shoulder off, gets a good lift on it. Guard overtakes it. Okay, this is a young pup right here. Okay, we talked about it after the clip during meetings. Can't be doing stuff like this and possibly calling a play back. Okay, I'd like to see him keep running his feet. But what we talked about earlier, center wants to get his eyes across. Okay, guy beats us to the point. We push him by. Okay. Do a great job getting everything taken care of on the front side. We're going to leave our running back one-on-one with the safety. Our guy's not too bad, so he does a good job splitting it through. This was really the backbreaker for the game. Show you guys another one, same game. So this time we had a mess up here at receiver. Okay, receiver should still track to the safety. Corner is blocked by the receiver. Our fullback has the +1 right here. Okay, tackle with this guy being almost a 3 technique. He's running through this shoulder for this guy scraping over. Okay, another coaching point I use with my guys, we're going to run to where they're going to be, not where they're at. Okay, we're going to leave this guy unblocked. We're going to leave this guy unblocked. So they make it easy for us. Guy slants. Our guard does a great job getting his backside hand into the sternum, so he's able to collect it. Tackle gives a good lift. Okay, I'd like to see him press back into it once he sees the linebacker's not beating him over the top. I'd like to see him press back into it and really solidify this so there's no run through. But the guy sees our tackle, does a little juke, takes himself out of the play. Okay, backside here. Our center gave a solo call. Takes care of the shade pretty easily. So our backside here runs a slip. Okay. Left guard here doesn't do a great job of getting his eyes there. Okay. Luckily, we get by with the tailback being able to press this thing to the outside. Hey, Coach, just let me know if I'm getting close to my time or if I'm over, whatever. I can talk for a little bit.
Yeah, we're gonna let you keep rolling, Coach, because the next one's not until 1:30. I'm probably gonna cut you off probably like 1:15-ish, and so I'll give the other coach the rest of the time as well.
That sounds good, Coach. All right. So this is us out of our 11 or sorry, out of our spread set. Okay. So it's a little bit different now. We don't have the +1 over here to the boundary. Okay. So now it is receiver for the corner. Okay. Our 2 guys working up to track right here. Okay. And we're going to end up getting a tackle cut off. Okay. And we're going to work a combo back here. Okay. They have one more right here than we can block, and that's okay. We're going to put our guy on their guy. So we anticipated anytime we were getting a spread set that there was going to be some sort of movement. So our guys make a color call here. I'd like to see my center just let this thing go to the guard. Okay. 2 young guys here, or 4 young guys really, early on in the season. So, still working out some of the kinks. Okay. My tackle here is patient. Like to see him get a little bit more on the defensive end, slanting inside. He tracks up to the backer. Ideally, we should be 2 for 2 when this guy slants here. The center passes it off, and now his eyes are tracking for 43 coming across the screen. But doesn't shake out necessarily that way. They put 2 guys in a gap. So we really just mash 97. We're going to make 43 and 6 make the play. Young tailback here. He went to the outside. That's fine. Tackle got 42. Not a great block. Okay, but gain of 24 on a pretty good defense. Same game, earlier in the game. Okay, we're back into a spread set. We had game planned all week, spread sets. We're either going to get a 4-1 box or, a very light 4-2 box, and this guy was going to try to split the difference to be able to play the RPO window and be able to play the run. So right here, I'm not going to bore you guys. We're obviously going to block the corner with the receiver. All right, so this time our tackle goes catch, hand, reach. Okay, the guy fights outside. He just works him outside. Okay, works him outside. We get a single here to number 10 with a 2-eye. Our guard gives some help, but our center, like I said, he's a good one. He's able to reach across that guy, and we get that guy taken care of. Get good hands on 10. Okay, young guy backside, gives a good presence. I like to see him at this point, instead of shuffle and crossing his feet, I like to see him just keep running. Okay, running to try to get right here and cut this guy off. Now he stays with the play, does a good job. Our tailback's able to press this thing. Gets underneath, finds a hole, makes a nice play. So right here we get an odd front. One of the few times we saw odd this season or this past season. My tackle here, they would normally work a double to number 5. If he was at a normal linebacker depth. But here we just ended up going 2 catch hand reaches, tackle here, guard here. Okay, we scoop to 12, tackle cuts off 20. Tight end or fullback in this picture has the C gap, and we should be hatted up. It's pretty good. Front side here. They take their backer and go backside. Okay, so we're able to get to second, third level. Tackle here does a good job. It's his first game, I believe, playing tackle for the season. I teach all my guys to be able to play multiple positions, so he had to make a start here for us in a crucial game. But he does a good job keeping that guy outside. Right guard climbs vertical, gets onto the second level. Our tailback does a very good job of falling forward on his runs. So, another solid game. Okay. Let's see. We got a spread look here. So it's a little bit later in the game. So this is a tough look for us up front with this guy covering the center here. Okay, this is where that tracks call came into play. We'd go here, Pretty self-explanatory. Everybody working through their gap, leave the furthest rusher. Okay. But we didn't make that or a color call here. We ended up just taking, what we saw. Wasn't clean by any means. Was not clean at all. But guard here, he has to wheel back because he doesn't have help. Okay. Doesn't have help on his inside gap. So he has to wheel back, tackle, fights to the edge, realizes the guy's not going to let him reach him. So you see the pull with the outside hand, push with the inside hand. That's when we call it, that's what we call tossing them out of the club. Tailback gets us right, presses, gets underneath. Like I said, finishes falling forward. But that's a good job. So, like I said, guys, that's us. We're a very, very large wide zone team, and it's been something for us that's been beneficial, and it's been something for us that we know week to week we can carry in, regardless of who we're playing.
Cool. Awesome, Coach. That was great. You went. I think you went like about 45 minutes. We had to use Coach's time, but I don't think there's any questions. I appreciate you coming on and talking wide zone. I definitely learned a little bit. So I'm definitely a gap scheme guy. So anytime I can learn some wide zone, because I feel like I'm pretty good on inside zone. So outside wide zone, that's what I need to get better at. So I appreciate you speaking on it.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate you having me on, and I think this is a great opportunity for everyone to learn something. And like I said, appreciate you having me on.
Yeah. I will catch you later.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir.